Hello, my beautiful people. Hello, my perfume lovers. Welcome to my channel. As always, I'm super glad and super happy to have you here, and also super happy to be filming another review for you. As you know, summer is here, and I was actually planning to do many reviews about summer fragrances. And today I'm starting with one specific fragrance, which is from LATAFFA, one of my favorite Middle Eastern houses. But before I start, if you're new here, my name is Martin and I do perfume reviews. So I talk about all types of fragrances, whether it's designer, niche, or Middle Eastern fragrances, dupes, layering combos. And if this sounds like something you're into, then please consider subscribing. And yeah, let's get started. So today I'm going to talk about a fragrance by LATAFFA, which is not very well known. And if a fragrance is not very well known or it's so popular, it's even more intriguing, and I even want to try it more because I don't like usually things that are super hyped up, but I'm always looking for hidden gems and just I like to try fragrances that are not so popular. And this is a specific fragrance from LATAFFA, as I said, called TAWEEL. Here we have the packaging. As always, a stunning packaging. It's black, it's matte, the box, and here we have the fragrance inside, and it looks very opulent, it looks majestic, super expensive, but of course it's not, because the tougher fragrances usually are super inexpensive. I paid 32 euros, I think, or even a little bit less, but definitely under 40 euro, that's for sure. Here we have the bottle. It's a heavy glass bottle, and you have an interesting component here. It's also quite heavy. And let me show you the atomizer, because this is also something that matters in my opinion. The atomizer is fantastic. You get a beautiful, beautiful fine mist. And the reason why I wanted to try this fragrance so much is that I was looking for summer fragrances, because usually I'm into gourmand fragrances and super heavy and spicy oud fragrances, for example. But this usually doesn't work for the summer, so I thought, let me give this one a try. And actually, the reason why I wanted to order and try this fragrance so bad is because many people said that this is supposed to be a dupe or very similar to Ganymede, which is a niche fragrance by Quentin Bish. And of course, I have it here with me. I love this fragrance. I use it. I wear it a lot. This is actually a hidden gem, and I don't talk about this fragrance at all. So this is like the first video I'm mentioning it, because I actually wanted to keep this fragrance for me. But of course, I'm gonna talk about this fragrance today, and I'm not really gonna do a side by side comparison, but just so you know, I have this fragrance with me, so I know what I'm talking about. And let me talk about this fragrance actually. So it is green. This is what was my first impression. It's a very green and minerally fragrance, very metallic as well, so very unique. This is definitely for the refined noses. Someone that is more like used to wear like this typical blue scents, for example, or like gourmand fragrances, and only wear this type of fragrances, probably gonna have a hard time with this one here. But I think we should all be more open for trying out new things. It's all about experimenting and expanding your horizon when it comes to fragrances as well, and not only fragrances, of course. So this fragrance is, as I said, green. It's slightly citrusy in the opening and metallic. It's like a fizzy spritz of metal, let's say it like that. But it turns very herbal and green afterwards, like after 2 to 3 minutes, and then it kind of stays green all the time. So let me actually put a spray here in my hand. The opening is also slightly sharp. I think there is saffron in here. I have a feeling there could be saffron in here, but it's very much in the background. And I was actually struggling to find the notes, like whether on Notino, where I actually purchased this fragrance, or on Fragrantica, and nowhere I could find like any information, not even on LATAFFA's website. It only says that there are citrusy notes in here and woods, but like not exactly what it is. I feel like I do smell maybe mandarin, maybe like lemon. It's zesty and very green. When it comes to the woods, it's very hard for me to actually identify what type of woods you have in here, but it is very woodsy in my opinion. So the question now is it a dupe for Ganymed, which is this one here? In my opinion, not at all. They're very much in the same family, but they're very different as well. So I do feel like if you like Ganymed, then you're gonna enjoy this fragrance as well, but not necessarily, you know? I think that Ganymed is more spicy, very zesty. The saffron, you get like a heavy load of saffron, and the Akigala wood inside here is what is more or less the main character as well, you know? This is a very complex and unique fragrance. What they do have in common, in my opinion, is that they're both woodsy, of course. They're both kind of metallic, especially in the opening, and they have like that ozonic kind of feel, you know, which makes both of the fragrances, in my opinion, perfect for the summer, you know, especially this one here, because this one here in the heat, I've tried it a few times, can be a little bit overwhelming. I do like that, but I think especially like on rainy days, maybe like in the spring, this develops perfectly. Whereas TAWEEL, on the other hand, actually I think is perfect for the summer as well because it's not as intense um, like Ganymed. But in my opinion, you should give this one a try if you like green fragrances, if you like metallic fragrances, you know, if you're looking for a summer fragrance, of course. This is supposed to be unisex. In my personal opinion, I don't really see a woman wearing it because I barely like know women that, or even people in general, that wear this type of fragrances. This is very niche like, you know, but you have to be open for that. But if you like Ganymed, of course, whether you're a woman or not, you're probably gonna like this one as well. And in my opinion, it's unisex but slightly more masculine leaning. That's just my personal opinion. What I really like about this fragrance is that you can perfectly layer this with other fragrances and it's very refreshing, you know. They're like fragrances you just like to wear and that kind of give you that feeling you're like in the nature, you know, you're surrounded by trees and flowers or in general like grass, you know. And this is one of these fragrances actually, and this really is refreshing and very calming as well, especially in the dry down, you know. Like the opening can be a little bit too much, but when you let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes, it starts to develop amazing, you know. And it kind of just reminds me of nature in general, and like it's polarizing as well, which I love. I like fragrances that are unique and polarizing. And I remember I was wearing this fragrance I was just like respraying myself, and there was like a lady, she was like, oh my god, like I could smell you like from meters away because it was slightly windy. And she's like, this is such a unique fragrance. I've never smelled something like that before, you know. And I think this is a very interesting compliment. I definitely took it as a compliment. And as I said, it's unique and polarizing. And if you like this type of fragrances, you should try this for sure. Now let's get to the lasting power and projection. In my opinion, when it comes to lasting power, it's like mediocre, like very much in the medium segment, maybe like 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours if you overspray, which is okay for that price. When it comes to projection, it does project, especially like on me. I feel like I can smell myself for the first hour, 2 hours, like let's say 1.5 hour for sure. And then it kind of starts to dry down to a skin scent. After 3 to 4 hours, I can barely smell it on myself, but I do get like certain whiffs. So I would recommend you to always have the fragrance with you or like a small refillable bottle and just respray after 3 to 4 hours, and then you're good to go, definitely. So this is actually it. I said everything I wanted to say, I think, and I really enjoyed talking about the fragrance. I really, really like this fragrance a lot. I wouldn't necessarily say that I love this fragrance, but I'm kind of, you know, like the fragrance is kind of growing on me, which I think is a good sign. And yes, if you liked the video, then please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, comment down below, tell me your thoughts, and I hope to see you guys very soon for another review. Thank you.